everybody. I appreciate your patience. We're trying to get everything settled, and we would like to have had it all in place before you got here, but this town hall meeting has been evolving almost momentarily. So we really had the advantage of being several people, just different disciplines to come over to answer questions you may have, and then also Representative representative who has had to a lot of education. This is a hard time to come into the office, and she's been very attentive to our concerns and needs and spent a lot of time here, and we do appreciate that. We have we're going to get the city manager to he was going to come in and introduce everybody. He should be back. We want to make sure that we have everything up. If we get too crowded or we get too hot, we do have room over at the city center room, and this is all being broadcast on YouTube. So we also are trying to get just some graphics to give you an idea of some of the things that we've been going through. But there's the city manager, and let him get started.
I can hide behind the podium. My name is Bob Daniels. Glad to be here this evening. Thank you all for coming out and spending some time so we can all get an education on the process that we have to follow to try to make us as whole as we can. I think it's Linda Portel, who's our floodplain manager and also our development services director. It mentioned that it's important for us to get feedback from all of you. I know a lot of times people say, well, I don't want to hear positive things, and we've heard a lot of positive things. And I think one of the most positive things that comes out of any disaster is the fact that we're all here to at least talk about it. So I thank God for that. So just tonight, I wanted to already introduce you to Linda. I think she introduced herself. We have the floodplain administrator from Pinellas County, Lisa Foster.
She's in the back
there. Hank Hoody. Hank's in the back over there. Jess McCracken. Mary Burrell.
Mary's over here.
I wish she was behind me. Mary was the first one to arrive tonight. Kim Hart.
Behind me.
Okay, really behind me. Okay. And I know we have a gentleman from the Florida Department of Emergency Management. Oh, he's over here. Okay. Sorry. Well, I saw the jacket, so so I apologize. And of course, you already met Representative Cheney, my boss, Mayor John Hendricks, here in the back. John, those of you that don't know him, and over in our city center is one of our commissioners, Happy Price, Helen Happy Price, and so we definitely appreciate the support that we're getting. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this over to and Frank DeSantis, who's our chief building official. Frank's worked with a number of people already, and he's doing a great job getting us through this, and hopefully we get you all through this. So turn it over to Linda.
Again, thank you everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. I know it's really hard. Anytime you have a disaster and you're trying to get your own property and your own affairs into order to respond to the immediate pressing need of safety and housing, to even actually see any activity going on around you. But the city staff and the county staff and state officials, everybody's been very busy trying to help to find the level of need in the community and get the kind of attention that it needed. I'm sure you noticed that there initially wasn't much attention paid to the aftermath of the flooding. There were lots of pictures in the media about water rising up and sloshing through Johns Pass and other places, St. Pete Beach I saw. And there's some YouTube videos here and there, but afterwards, it was kind of a silence about what that really meant. And I don't think that people understood how many houses were damaged, how many residential units and people were displaced by that. And just the level of devastation. This, um, this should be declared a disaster. We have a real disastrous situation on our hands. We have been trying to get out, as you all know, we have the benefits of living in a small community, but that means a fairly small staff and a fairly small budget. There's only so many people to go around, so it's hard to see us out there. We're spread out, trying to handle things and then be back here at the same time. I want you to know that we've been continuously involved and concerned about your well-being. I'm doing everything we can to get the support we need from various levels of government and to draw attention to the situation and to also provide one-on-one counseling to be with the property owners who have allowed us to come in to their homes and provide them with videos and things of that nature. So I'm going to just go over that so that you know you haven't been alone quickly. Initially, the staff mobilized immediately to do drive around windshield surveys and also foot surveys to find out what was going on with the level of water. That's one thing that we're supposed to measure, as well as the level of water in the streets and the facilities. We had to document all of that and then also talk to anybody who was out and about without interfering with the work they were doing, because we all recognize that you got to get that wet drywall out of there. And everybody got busy right away cleaning up the outsides of their properties and cleaning out the debris, the wet materials, getting the fans set up. There's no time to be lost with all of that, I recognize. We also mobilized debris pickup, and I appreciate all of the positive response we've had from the city's trash people getting around every day, picking up things and not requiring outside assistance for that, and trying to make sure that the yards catch clean and the debris is out of the way. We had to also took the opportunity to not only document where the damage was, what the levels were, but to begin putting the data onto maps so that we could provide the county and the state with a better sense of exactly what the level of destruction and distress was. And we contacted residents and property owners, anybody that was available. They're driving around trying to find people, knocking on doors, things of that nature. We made contact with the media. We were very fortunate to get a little bit of coverage from the media. And there was an immediate response from residents calling me saying, "Oh, no, Jim, such and such, what made me call you?" So we really do appreciate that coverage. It's really important as a means of communicating. We also posted all kinds of information on our webpage and Facebook. We did a direct mailing to a lot of you. I think that's why you need to come tonight. We appreciate that. We tried to inventory what we think the damage level was in your homes based on the level of water and the size of the homes. We're very concerned about that because there are a lot of people who haven't come forward and asked us to look at it for them to check out the building to see whether it's safe or what kind of situation they're dealing with inside the house. We're trying to encourage everyone to register your damage with the county's EOC sites. And the reason for that is that FEMA bases their determination as to whether to provide certain types of housing assistance and other kinds of training and mobilization of additional staff. All of those things are based on how much damage is done and what type of damage that is. You have to show a certain level of damage in order to generate that kind of attention. Stating that correctly. And so we wanted everyone to get online in the county's EOC site and register what kind of damage they had. Post pictures if you have it, because they only want reports that involve photographs to prove that the damage stated was true. And so we've been trying to get that word out. The other communities are also supposed to be doing similar things. And to date, they haven't been able to get enough of those pictures tied in with damage reports to get FEMA down here. We hope we're closing in on it, but we only have a couple of days left to respond. We also put out media notices about making sure that you get permits for any restoration work you're doing. One of the reasons for this is that there are some significant safety issues at play here. People are pulling walls out. They may have had water that sat up at the structure inside the home and around their electrical circuits and outlets. And as you start pulling walls out, you've got to check to see if the average is truly dry before you put the wall back up. And also, there's not any damage to the wiring. We've had several reports of people being significantly shocked by running into the wiring in their own homes and not even realizing it's there or finding that the conduit has been eroded away. Also, once those walls were out, we know that a lot of people found termite damage and rot, and even more frightening actually is black mold. Black mold can not only make you sick, it can cost you your life. So we really want to help people by assessing what type of damage is in the walls and what kind of how far they need to go up and just making sure that it's all being put back in a safe manner. And along those lines, if you're not doing the work yourself and you own your own home, we also know that you'll need a licensed contractor for that. And we wanted to get out word as to the links that you go on the county to find out who is licensed, who's in and all those kinds of services. Unfortunately, that they're maybe not the best people to provide. And we want to make sure that you're all protected from anybody who might be kind of a shy spirit or not really in the best position to offer services and that they actually have licensing. So there's a link available on our webpage for you to find that. Also, it provides you with a link to a place you can go to see if there have been complaints filed against a contractor. So even if they're licensed, there may be specific complaints you would want to know about before you sign any contract. So at the end, we also ended up going door to door damage on Forecast to businesses, and actually there was not as much damage down there as there was in the residential neighborhoods. There were a few people that got a whole lot of water, but really just very few right along the boardwalk. And so but we wanted them to know that the Department of Economic Opportunity was considering or conducting an assessment to determine whether it was necessary or appropriate to offer business assistance for interruptions and things associated with the slowdown in business. So we really have been trying to get out to you, and I'm so glad that you've come tonight. But the primary purpose here in being here is to give you an opportunity to let us know where you stand, what kind of assistance you need, and also to ask questions of the various experts. We have county staff that's here, includes people with insurance company and insurance background, and a lot of the questions we're getting do pertain to your your adjusters coming in and how you get your insurance. Also to talk about the assistance if some of you find that it's necessary to replace your housing and demolish or something of that nature, or to raise it up. The FEMA does provide some incremental assistance in grant form for that. So we have people who can address those kind of things, and then also we have building-oriented people here to talk about what your construction concerns may be. And again, we have Representative Jane here who's just hoping to collect data, I think, and give her an opportunity to make some comments, and then I'd like to open the floor up and see what any questions you've got. Also, at the end of this, we have set up in the city center rooms tables for all of the various experts. So if you have questions in a specific area, you can ask and interact with these people who are speaking tonight. Also, we've all got our laptops with us so that we can help get you registered on the EOC site for your damages if you'd like to do that tonight. It's pretty simple, but I know sometimes it's easier to have somebody standing right there helping you through the process. And we very much appreciate anything that anybody can provide in terms of information. Representative Cheney, would you like to make some comments?
So is everybody comfortable with me not having my mask on while I talk? Okay. I think we're far enough apart. I just want to say first, before we go any further, I'm so sorry for what this community is going through. the mayor and the city manager took me around to a number of their homes, and people had no idea what you all were going through, myself included, and I'm over in St. Pete Beach. So I'm very sorry for what you're going through, and I promise you that I will continue to work to bring every resource available to the state, to this community, to help you to the best of my ability. I have found out so far, I'm an entrepreneur, so I am a problem solver, and I'm used to things moving quickly, and I'm probably almost as frustrated as you are with the process that it takes to get things done. And so I have reached out to alternative sources in the private sector for you all. And part of what will help me match you with resources is knowing specifically what your needs are. If it's rehousing needs, if you need some housing assistance, I've reached out to facilities that may be able to, including hotels, maybe private homes that may be able to help with that. But I'm going to need a sense of how much help we're going to need there. 20 people, 30 people. If that's your need, do you still have debris that needs to be removed? There are volunteer forces that can bring that to the community. And then if you're a vet, we're tapping into a whole separate source of resources for veterans and elder affairs. So the more information you can give us, the more help that I can bring to you. Everything needs to be documented. I do not believe that anybody can be forced out of their homes. Is that correct, Mayor? So there's no reason to be afraid to report your damage. Nobody is going to come evict you from your house when they tell you that it's not safe and that you should leave. But nobody's going to be forced to leave. So please just give us your information, and we will continue to work. Wesley has driven all the way down from Tallahassee to be here with us tonight to help. And the county has sent plenty of people, so the bell has been rung, and people are aware of the problem that we're having. All the people I've been on the phone with over the past week have been stunned to hear what's happened to this community, and they are mobilizing. So thank you for your patience. Please just reach out, leave your information here with what your needs are. Ian, the gentleman in the back with the pink tie, he's my legislative aide, and if you want his information, reach out to me personally, to my office. That's you. I'm so new to the office, I don't even have business cards yet, so I'm sorry. But Ian will give you the information. So now I'd like to turn it over to whoever you want to speak next. I'll have more specific information for you. And again, I'm sorry, and thank you for being here.
Would you like to say a word or two?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wesley Sapp. I work at the Florida Division of Emergency Management. I serve as the Deputy State Disaster Recovery Coordinator. So in my role, after a disaster hits and many of the TV cameras are turned off, my job is to make sure that the state can do everything that we can to make a community whole again. And so as Representative Cheney mentioned, we understand that you all are hurting and that a lot of government processes are long. But in the interim, my goal and sort of the entire purpose of the job that I do is to find resources that can address those short-term needs as we wait on potential resources that could come from the federal government. And so I've been honored to work with Representative Cheney. She's been an incredible advocate for Muir Beach and the damage that's been done here, and she and I have been in constant communication. I think probably like every couple of hours since last night, and so we'll continue to work together to make sure that we can bring any available state resources that we can to bear to this community, and make sure that we're tapping into every volunteer nonprofit network that exists here in the community and in the region to make sure that we can address some of the needs that exist for you all. So I'm honored to be here. I appreciate you all coming out. As she mentioned, it's so important that something that we have to remember, at least on our side, is we don't know is we don't know. So if you all are not communicating the damage that you have or the needs that you have, we need that information so that we can respond appropriately and make sure that we're addressing the issues that you're confronting each and every day. So continue to provide information to the city, the county, and Representative Cheney's office, and that information will actually filter out to my office, and we'll work and coordinate with our other state agencies to make sure that we can bring any necessary resources to bear.
Thank you. I know that we also had Joe Bruce. I thought Joe came in after there. I thought that was he's hiding in the back there with the emergency operations manager. We have a space up for you at the podium if you'd like to come up. We also want to point out that along, when you separate out and you're talking to various experts later and you leave us your information about whether you're a veteran, elder services, eligible, or also be sure to mention things like if you think you've got mold problems and also asbestos, because there's some funding to help with asbestos removal and remediation. And we want to make sure that we attach everybody to have whatever funding source they need and can bring to bear to resolving their housing needs and making things safe to live in, or if necessary, replacement housing. So now we'd like to open up the floor and see if you've got, you're going to come up and talk to us at the podium. If people have questions, if you don't mind asking in public, you'll be able to ask questions independently of us. But if you don't mind coming up if you've got questions, I think would help everybody. We'll be glad to hear from you. We try to get all these folks, these smart people to answer as best they can. Yes, you can come up. Can you come up? Those people won't be able to hear you otherwise. You have to talk right into that microphone there. You can go for it. So there's the same as going to disaster area. I can't get into any of the programs because
Yeah, so there is a series of activities that go on between the county and the state as we work through the potential declaration process. It's important to remember the websites that you're going to federal disaster assistance, or whatever that website is, I believe, disasterassistance.gov. Those are for federally declared disasters. So that wasn't necessarily a website that was activated because of an action the governor did. It was a federal declaration. I think the one that's available right now from the state of Florida is Hurricane Sally. So that's why you saw a lot of those panhandle counties. And so that process is still being worked through between the division and the county. And so in terms of the timeline, I don't have one at the moment. I know that we are in constant communication with the county, with Joe and his folks, to make sure that we're collecting the information that's necessary to report to the federal government the damage that took place here, so that in an expeditious way we can get potentially request a declaration of some sort and provide federal resources.
All the counties around the state of Florida, disaster areas, all because of Hurricane Sally, because we had one out like Spencer, Appaloosa, all these counties that were way north.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So those were from Hurricane Sally. So those were federally declared counties. Those should have been like Appaloosa, to your point, Escambia, Santa Rosa, some of the ones. Those were from that story.
Thank you.
And it was mentioned when I was standing in the back out of USC that as you're doing repairs, if you're able to be doing this on your own, keep your receipts, because when the time comes when FEMA money is may be available, or any other government assistance money may be available, if your repairs qualify and dealing with governments. So just hang up to your receipts.
Yeah, that's right. And really, that's for any assistance, right? So whether the assistance is coming from the nonprofit sector or some other sector, whether it's government assistance or a church service or something, keeping receipts, if you're able to begin repairs on your homes, keeping those receipts allows us to sort of have a paper trail to follow as assistance runs out.
Yes. Sure, would you please stand on this side?
video from Frank.
Okay.
That's a public request, just a public request. We're not be more than happy to partner on this. And when you do that, just send it right to just over department public request and just
And then it would be really helpful if all of the people that are here tonight to help, if we could get maybe something sent out to us saying, you know, you should send this information to Ms. Cheney, you should send this information to Mr. Sapp, so we know who all, and that way maybe we can get communicated with as well. If we're saying we have housing, who are we supposed to know this, what that?
Yes, we will do that. We asked everybody to sign in on the sign-in sheets.
We did.
Make sure that we have very clear, but before you leave, we'll find one for you if you did not. Make sure we have contact information for you, so everything that we find out and the summary of our comments and things tonight will be provided to everyone. Also, it's really important because of the way government works and the coordination between the county and the state, that all of the actual damage information is registered with the county. They have, and we'll help you get registered with that tonight. But also, yes, if you, as you talk to us individually, if you leave messages with each about, you know, what your specialized concerns are, then we're going to get that kind of information back to you directly.
Okay. And I don't know if I can answer this question now, but so the FEMA rules with the value of your structure, and you can only do 50% of the repair. Can you do, let's just say, for example, a structure for $50,000. So you can do $25,000 worth of improvements. But say you have $50,000 worth of improvements that need done, and you do without having to knock your house down, can you do 25,000 the 1 year and then the next year do the other 25?
Possibly, as long as the amount that you put in the first year makes it livable and gets you back to a state where it's meets the building code for just being an occupied dwelling. So
Without being abandoned.
yes, we're working with everybody individually to try to figure out what's the minimum that's required to get you back into your house and make it safe. And they're actually fairly minimal building standards that qualify something as a livable house. We don't want you to be too put out too far, but yes, we will definitely work with you as much as we can. We have to use a standardized method to make sure everybody's treated equally. But we do look at every single case and we measure it out. What we're doing is measuring out just the improvement areas, and if some portion of the house has to be redeveloped, then we'll discount that portion as redeveloped. The rest is just minimal repair damage cost. So we're using the approved standards, but where your walls are, and we'll measure it out with you. Or either we'll get together with you and talk about this is what the damage is. This is the minimum you can do to get back into there and help you work out some scenario. Some people, have contacted us right away and said, well, my house has to come down because it was so severely damaged, or they find in the process of repair that there was so much termite damage. One women at the bottom part of the wall and all the rest of it all around. And it turns out the whole structure of the house is termite. And there's just no way within 50% or even probably 100% of what the property appraiser had listed that could ever have been repaired safely. So some have contacted us right away and said, I know that this needs to be replaced. So we we're trying to work with everybody to do what we can to do it. If you've worked with us before too, you know that this 50%, we do have to use a set standard, but we do it using the minimal standards that are approvable for that type of building and development. We always use the bottom numbers.
And I would say if you're not sure where you send your information or your questions, let's use the city as the point person and they'll direct it where it needs to go.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Yeah. Thank you.
My name's Phil Reagan. I live down in East Parsley. I have some rental property and older residents. About licensed contractors, where we find them. We put out positive, they're 6 to 8 weeks out. So I want to care how many will apply, well, I got to do it myself. So, and then you have people living in your property, where are they going to go? So, where do we find a good list of contractors that can do the work? And where's that source?
You were talking about that. Other Joe can talk about how to direct people or to go ahead.
Sure. So, well, did you say that you had, was there a list that was just verifying on your website?
Well, yes, you can get on the county site and see who all the licensed contractors are. We can't recommend specific contractors, but on the county site.
If you recommend that they're going to be bad, then that's bad on the city. Is that correct?
That's because it's favoritism if they make recommendations, so that's the problem. But we do always say, let's look at, please look at the licensed sites. Make sure you're working with a licensed contractor.
Okay, so I can go to the county and find a list of licensed.
Yeah, yes, we did. And on our webpage, we have provided a link to that. Sure. And make sure also to look not just at the license, but there's also a section of complaints filed. So I check to see if there are any complaints, because you may, not want to deal with somebody who's in the process already of a complaint.
Okay. Last question, permits. I've got a long list of my problems. So I don't know where to begin to have a permit. That's a need.
Oh, well, if you come in with a complete program, like your contractor comes in and pulls a permit for all of the,
You can do that for me.
yeah, it would be all in one permit. Yeah.
It's just a list, like 2 pages.
Of things that have to be corrected, sure. Yeah, but there's not a bunch of separate. I mean, if you come in with one building that has a whole bunch of changes and improvements, they all get lumped into a single permit for the most part, unless it's something outside of expense or something. But it should all end up on one permit. If it turns out that you aren't doing all the work now, then you can come back. You may have to come back in another year. We'll work with you and let you know how much capacity you have in the house. We know this is very difficult, and believe me, it's really difficult for us too. But we do have a floodplain ordinance, and we also have requirements that the federal government has placed on all of us living on the coast. I know you're familiar with dealing with FEMA, and we're hoping that FEMA will come and help us. But they also provide a lot of standards. We belong to are members of the National Flood Insurance Program, and there are requirements that go with that. The benefit is that the better ranked we are within that program, the higher the flood insurance discount rate you all get. So we're really protective of our standing within that program. If the city doesn't perform properly in accordance with our agreements with that program or meet our own floodplain management requirements, then when we get audited by FEMA's consultants, and that happens pretty regularly around here, they can reduce our ranking or penalize us in some way. If we were to fall all the way out of the program, there are a lot of problems, and nobody could get flood insurance. Definitely would get a discount. You might not be able to get flood insurance at all within the community. You wouldn't be able to get any federally backed mortgage within the community. And the city itself would not be able to apply many grants for programs that we are currently available. So there's a lot of penalty force behind federal government's improve your house, in a 12-month period by more than half the value it's appraised for. And so we have to look that up when somebody comes in, and I know that that's some people's resistance in coming in and talking to us. So when we evaluate the kind of changes you're making to your home, we try to be very conservative and use the lowest possible numbers and values to give you the benefit of the doubt and try to get you the most out of it we can. If it trips that 50% mark and we can't get around it, then we can't approve the improvement. But like was said before, there are actually some fairly minimal standards that can be used to get something back up and moving and still make it livable, within the year, and then you may have to come back and do some more later. As I said, there are some people that came to us right away and said, this structure is gone. There was so much damage, especially some of the wood frame structures, because the water came up from underneath. So all the base structure, the walls, so the structure of the house all over is worked, and it's just not going to hold up. So there are some people who lost that home. They already know the situation, or we're meeting with people if they find that's the case. There are some incremental funding opportunities, one of which is that there's an extra $30,000 if people find that they do need to take their house down. These might provide $30,000 for incremental expense assistance for that project. They also can provide that if you want to lift the house up, but of course, if the house is already so damaged, especially if it's structural and it's saying there's no point really in lifting it up. You have to be real careful about how much money you spend jacking the house up in the air, because sometimes it damages the house on the way up, and you got to repair it again when it gets up there. So I appreciate the questions. I want to make sure you understand we're trying to keep everybody in their house, get them back into a house, and at the same time meet all of the standards to make sure that the rest of the community is protected as well.
Some of it, like we do, my wife and I, we have a couple of like the swimming pool. And that's part of the 50%.
No, swimming pools, no.
Okay, so anything with like fences and.
Yes, no, fence, no, it's anything that's part of the structure of the house is connected to the house. Otherwise, no.
We were just curious.
Okay, sure.
And I wanted to follow up on an earlier question about the county. The county website is called pcclds.com. Anybody's interested in looking at licensed contractors across the county, all contractors have to be registered on the PCCLD, which is Pinellas County Construction Licensing Board.com.
And we'll send that out again. I do have some handouts in the back too that has some information in them that we'd already sent out on our web pages. I know some of you got a direct letter from us that had some of that information also included. By all means, we want everybody to have every piece of information that's available and helpful to them throughout this. Yes.
We had damage to our house, substantial, and we had to move for displaced, and there's no displacement funds for us, so we have a mortgage and we have a home that's inhabitable because we don't have electricity because of the gas power. So we emptied the house. We have 2 pods with all of our belongings in there. We have to pay for. So we haven't seen anybody come to our house. And it's caution tape. Like Linda Cheney, I sent you a letter on Saturday, and I took some pictures on Sunday. And I'm not really sure if I reached out to who I needed to reach out to, but it's the first for us to have a situation like this, and I don't want it to happen because we like our house, but it's in really bad shape.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for what you're going through. We have been trying to go out. It's been taped off. Somebody was obviously there too. I've been out to several places myself, but no one was there. And we can't force our way into anybody's home. We won't do that. So we've only been going in where we can meet and not somebody would let us in. Please let us know again, and I'm sorry that no one's been in touch with you, but let us know your name and your contact, and Frank over here, he'll make Frank's my neighbor. Okay. Sure.
Also, and so where are you staying right now, if you don't mind me asking?
We had to rent a house across the street, 3 doors down from us. And,
While you're still paying?
when you're displaced with 2 dogs and a cat,
Yeah.
nobody wanted us. And we stayed in a hotel for 10 days, which was over $1,000. So, this sudden flood put us into this lurch of, what do you do? Where do I go? What's next? Yeah. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did.
One day life is fine, and then the next day it's upside
What
down.
happened, yeah.
I've reached out to some private resources, and I'm hoping we'll come through with some housing for people.
We love where we are. It's convenient to go in.
I mean, just while you repair your home, and hopefully either at no cost or a drastically reduced cost to help you through with your house.
Lisa, severe repetitive loss? Okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay, I can address that. FEMA does have a mitigation program that allows local governments to have to sponsor a program they make arrangements with individual homeowners to rebuild homes or to lift them up. And those awards can be up to $250,000 for the grant program. The program is very difficult. It requires the local government to sponsor and administer the entire program. And it provides a minimal fee to the local government for all that administrative cost. In addition to that, quite often the local government ends up fronting the money to reimburse the property owner and then waits for FEMA to reimburse them later, which quite often doesn't happen. We have been in the program for many years. We've had several groups of homes that have been through this program, and the city has ended up fronting money that did not get reimbursed by FEMA. We've had almost none of the programs completed appropriately with contractors who would provide us with enough detail that we could even apply for the reimbursement. We've got things that just dealing with FEMA has sometimes taken as much as 10 months to get a response on an email or a letter, an official letter. And in fact, we're at the point now with the last group that should have been completed 2 years ago, where we're having to take legal action on 5 different homes to either against the state, FEMA, federal, or the property owner or the contractor, because we can't get it closed out, and the local government is on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars that have not been reimbursed. We had situations where people would build a home, it was approved by FEMA once the house was up. Different FEMA representatives showed up to do the walkthrough and decided, no, I count it differently, and it's too big now, cut the porches off. So we've had houses that had to be altered after they were completed according to FEMA plans, and that we've just been around and around. It's been an extremely painful process, not only for the local government, but for the homeowners. Most of them have told us they would never go through it again if they'd known what it was going to do to them, because it took them years to build the house, because you can't move on until it's approved at certain increments, and then they have to get extended because you didn't hear. It's been a really difficult thing because the city was on the hook for so much funding. The auditors had recommended that this was a really bad thing for us to be involved with. In fact, some of you know I've only been here 3 years, but one of the first things I noticed when evaluating the program was that we were going to end up in a lot of trouble legally or financially, and recommended that the city not sponsor any more of those loans. It's not a very popular program because of that. A lot of local governments have gotten out of it. There were only a couple left in the county that were attempting to go through the process because of all of these drawbacks. I was at a conference last year where there was a presentation. An insurance organization had been evaluating the program, and it said that FEMA was spending $10 for every one that went into these housing mitigation programs. There's all kinds of ways, in my opinion, that it would be cheaper to give people assistance and get those houses off the ground, but we've had a particularly difficult time with it. But the City Commission did vote that we would not sponsor more of those, and as I said, we're still trying to close them out, the last few. I know that I think Representative Cheney has been working with the Small Business Administration. Joe may have something.
So, again, I'm sorry for the impacts Tropical Storm Eta followed upon everybody. The flooding, I know, is a very insidious type of damage. It's not
Could you have to get closer to
my worst mask. If you don't mind, I'll take it off when I speak. Again, I'm sorry for your losses. Flooding is the worst. It's hard to see when you drive by and you're doing your damage assessments, but I want you to know that Frank has done a great job going out. I have a record of over 367 properties in Madera Beach that experienced some type of flooding here. We have that information. We've added it to the county as a whole, so we have over 400 structures that were majorly flooded. That's 18 inches of water or above. And we are working with the state Recovery Bureau. We submitted that up. We have over 2,500 affected homes, by the way, not the majors is what counts, so when FEMA's looking at that information. So we provided that to the Recovery Bureau. We still have time to apply for individual assistance. We're working on that, and if the state or the county needs more time, we can ask for extension. So even though the deadline's coming and it's 30 days from impact, we still have time for that. We have 60 days for the SBA as well, too, so we're well within that window. And I think, I'll go on a little bit of a limb, I think we will qualify for that for sure. But individual assistance, that's what we're fighting for. So we need that declaration from FEMA that this is it's a emergency. It's not a major, it's an emergency declaration. So that's what we're fighting for. It's us and really Broward County that had the most damages, believe it or not, from Tropical Storm Eta. The other counties didn't have it greatly as affected. So we're still working on that, it'll take some time. So we'll have the information, a complete packet. So in this COVID world, what's different is we would by now have FEMA and the state down and do what's called a joint preliminary damage assessment. Well, with COVID, they won't travel. So we're trying to get all the photos together that we can to show the high water mark, and that's really what I mean.
is where the water was, how deep was it in the home, to show the evidence of the damage that we have to sustain the packet of information to make the request. So we're working on that. We're still within our timelines, and we're going to continue to fight for that. Know that your city's doing a great job, and as well as the other communities who are affected. Age we're in right now.
Representative Cheney, I think that Ian mentioned you had some contact with the Small Business Administration.
Yeah, we have been in touch with every government agency under the sun multiple times. And as Wesley explained, and the county explained, there is, unfortunately, there is a process. And it starts with everybody reporting their damage. And as the numbers go up to the county, and then to the state, and then to the feds, it unlocks all these resources. In the meantime, I'm trying to get some private resources in, because as you're trying to find a place to live, you're trying to get paid to get your homes fixed. It's, you know, you don't have the luxury of the time that this process takes, and I completely understand that. And I have limited ability to make the feds move faster. Or any of this. So the most important thing you can do for us to help us move this process fast is to report your damage, send in your pictures to the city, tell your neighbors to do the same thing, help us get the word out. Thank you to the news stations that are here to help us get that word out. You need to report your damage. Help us so we can help you.
If I might just add one thing too, if you own a business or work for a business, I know that you're hearing a lot about assessments and reporting damage, and so I'm sorry to give you one more place to visit. But if you own a business that experienced damage or some sort of impact from ADA, or you work for someone or work with someone who had that experience, you can visit floridadisaster.biz, B-I-Z. I promise you that is a government website. And you can report a business damage assessment survey, and that is housed through the Department of Economic Opportunity. But similar to what Joe said, right, as numbers creep up, you start hitting numbers that can unlock, as well as what Representative Cheney said, as numbers creep up, you can unlock funding. And so that's where I would encourage, you know, obviously you want to report to the city and the county the damage to your homes, but if there was damage to a business or some sort of business interruption due to the storm, that's where you can go do that.
And Wesley, that would include rental properties, because there's a lot of, you know, quadplexes, duplexes.
Yeah, so I checked on that yesterday. If you own rental properties, if you are formed as a business of some sort, so it doesn't necessarily have to be an LLC, you can have a C Corp or, you know, whatever you are structured as long as it is, you know, a licensed business in the state under SunBiz, then you could fill out that survey and potentially get access to that too. Thank you for that.
If I could add, I think you can hear what we're suggesting here, and that is that the collective damage level is really important to the overall assistance the community will get. And so even if you don't feel that you will need replacement or subsidized or assisted housing, if you can report your damage, it would help other people in the community that will need that, because that's what we need in order to get to the designation level that's needed to help those of us among us that really don't have any place to go. So we really appreciate care and concern, and want to, you know, applaud you all. I know some of you have been really helpful. People are telling us that they're staying with their neighbors. I know during the flood, someone reported to me yesterday they woke up and they had almost knee-deep water in their house, and thought they better get out, and they walked out into the street through waist-deep water and waves splashing on them to get to a higher house, of a neighbor's higher house. And you know, we're really glad they had some place to go. That was extremely dangerous. We're fortunate that we didn't lose any lives. As I said, there were also a number of near electrocutions. Electrocution is the #1 cause of death in a flood. So it's really important that you be extra careful about that. But we really appreciate seeing the neighborliness and assistance that you've all been providing for each other.
Do you want to give us one more time the website to report their home damage and then the business damage? Because
Yes,
those are
and
two
then-
different locations, correct?
Right. Joe,
Well,
you want
we
to?
put it on our website. It's in red in the middle under special interest. You'll see the report damages there. And like I said, Frank's done a good job reporting that. Really what I'm looking for now is those water line photos, either from the outside of the house with that rack line that's there or flooding inside your home would help our case greatly. That's what they're looking for. And I have a number of those, so it's not like we don't have any, but the more I get, the more it makes our case for, we're really shooting for the individual assistance.
And what's
right?
the website? I want the news to get it to.
www.pinellascounty.org. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and
Right on the homepage.
we'll send that out to everybody. It's on our webpage as well. Yeah.
Already had Frank and his group come out, to our homes. Should we go ahead and report that again, or has that already been done?
We have yours. And
So it's already been done then, with that?
if you didn't individually get on, we haven't put it on the, you haven't. He's got a list. I can tell you that maybe we took a little bit different tact than some of the other places, but when we went out, we documented all the houses that had water lines on them immediately after the flood. And then we also measured out, based on staff and reports from neighbors, how high the water got in each street. We then collected data from the houses that we did get in and people that did communicate with us, did general estimates on how much damage was done to a house based on the water level in the street and along the house line. Then we projected out, based on the size of the houses, what we thought the damage was for each of the house we had documented, and then produced an estimate of overall community damage to the county. And we've mapped all of that. I don't know if it showed up behind me. Nope, nothing did. We have a map that kind of shows which houses we didn't, notice water lines on. We know there were many others that were damaged in between those, and they've started coming in and letting us know about it. Our initial run of estimates based on that methodology brought us to about $8.5 million worth of damage just in Madeira Beach. The state would not necessarily see all of that because some people don't have any insurance and aren't going to make claims, and they'll try to absorb it themselves. But the fact is that that's what we would consider probably the minimum damage that the community as a whole is suffering. In some of those houses, we estimated, for instance, $20,000 of damage. That may be 50%, and they've decided to take it down. We met with people, who had almost $50,000 of damage, but there wasn't that much in the house. They know they want to have to take it down, and that in fact it's a total loss of about $200,000 worth of insurance value. So those really, the 8.5 minimum we think is minimal because of the number of houses that will come down and are a total loss. That's not calculated in there. So it's a big deal. It's a real blow to the community.
Wesley, what's the website for the businesses to report damage?
Yeah, it's floridadisaster.biz, floridadisaster.biz. Thank you.
If any of you would like to meet with any of the people we have here, we do have some, we pointed out, I think, some people with insurance background here. Hank is on the back, and Kim is here. They know a lot more than most of us about insurance, and are really good for answering those kind of specific questions. Or if you would like to, it looks like they turned the lights off in the city center room. Are they still over there? No, that was over there. We all had to come in here. Oh, okay. We will. We've got laptops we can set up in the back and up here in the front. If you want to come up and talk to anybody to get a report filed onto the county's site, we're going to make ourselves available for that. Just let us know. Yes. Okay.
We did get, my name is Grace Harris, we live in 915 Bay Point Drive. We did get a visit today from Holden, who was asking about the demolition permit.
Okay.
And the contractor that we're using said that they had applied for permits, but they hadn't actually been granted yet.
Okay.
The question we had at that time was Holden basically had told the contractor that they really shouldn't be operating without the actual permit. So my question is, of course, NFIP says you cannot hesitate to start your demolition because they're not responsible for mold. It is not covered. So my question to Holden today was, so are what you saying that if the city hasn't gotten the permits out yet, that the demolition isn't supposed to occur, so is the city of Madera Beach then going to be absorbing the liability for mold that's growing? What kind of message are we sending to our residents here when we really need to be cleaning up our community? So how are we handling that?
I'll have Frank address that. I know we've been issuing demo permits and reviewing them on a really rapid basis.
Master
but maybe you could
Restoration,
talk-
by the way, is the contractor.
Yeah.
I know they're doing a lot of houses in that area, so
Okay.
I don't know what the case.
Yes, Linda. What we're doing is we're prioritizing all the tropical storm permits that come in. We're taking them right to the top and putting all the other permits on the backside. We're trying to process them as fast as we can, and we're also doing these site visits as much and as fast as we can. We're not saying to not do demolition. What we're saying is, I think the mix-up is when Holden looked at the property, I think what he's trying to say is when you start to put the restoration back, the drywall, the new drywall, things like that back,
Right.
that's when you definitely want that permit. The permit can be sitting on the desk back there in the process to tear out the drywall, but that's not going to stop the homeowner or the restoration from go ahead and tearing all that out. That's the first thing you want to do is remove that immediately. Air that place out.
Right.
Take up to 2 feet, if not more, and air everything out and assess the damage. Then the permit for the restoration kicks in.
I think that's not the communication that we got from Holden today, and I very clearly asked the question, and he very clearly answered it. So I think what I would like to see is that we are on the same page, and that communication that's going out to the community is consistent.
Okay.
I
We appreciate your letting
It
us
certainly
know.
wasn't today.
We'll follow up on
We
that.
did tell them that we were pretty much almost done. We were 97% done. And to continue at that point, but the contractor specifically asked him, like, for the job I have tomorrow, I don't have a permit. Are you telling me that I shouldn't be doing it? And he said, well, you really should not be doing the demolitions without a permit. So that was something I think that we need to communicate back, to Holden, and what are we telling each other? And
Okay.
and the contractor asked me, if you're going to the meeting tonight, can you please bring us back the information? Because we want to make sure that we're doing things according to what the
course.
city wants.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will have that discussion with Holden first thing tomorrow morning.
All right.
The answer is take it out.
Take it out.
Absolutely. Take it out as fast as you can.
What's been happening is people will come in and retroactively get their demo permit after it's already out, and there's no cost for that permit, just to verify that it was all done appropriately so that when they put the new stuff back in, that is permitted and we're sure it's been inspected properly.
He did communicate, one of the concerns was that they don't want a contractor to overdo the 50%
Well,
rule, right?
that's true. Yeah, we were worried about that. Mhm. Right. But obviously, as we started out saying, this is a small community, and we had over 360 homes damaged, and there's no way we could have gotten our eyes on everything quick enough because that wet stuff has to come out. So most people understood that and got right in there and tore it out. I know some people walked away from it, and were really concerned about houses that have been closed up and nobody's gone in and taken the wet material out. Sometimes they're getting with us now, or even now we can go in some places and you smell the mold and really concerned about people's health. Yes?
I don't want to be taped if I ask a question.
Okay. Oh, on the television?
Yeah, I don't want to be on the TV.
Okay, well, you want to wait until we all break up and you can ask a personal question? We're glad to do that. Yes?
Linda, I just want to let you know, that's just the light sensor. We are
Oh.
live over there.
Oh, okay. All right. We had set up tables for the county and city staff to separate out, so if you wanted to sit down with anybody and ask specific questions over in the city
I
center
wanted to
room.
make one more comment about the mold that you can confirm for me, but you don't, if you have cement walls or plaster walls, you can still have mold. It doesn't have to be drywall. So don't think that you're not going to have a problem because you have a plaster wall. You will still have mold, correct?
You're absolutely correct.
And that has to be taken out as fast as possible.
Water intrusion is going to happen, whether it's block wall or whether it's 2x4 stick. Doesn't matter. Water intrusion is going to happen. The best thing to do is open it up, air it out, get it out as fast as you can. Floor fans, open windows, whatever it takes. Turn the AC off, whatever it takes.
We have seen a number of people who took their boards out that were in block homes, and there was rot in the wood already because it had stayed wet over time. We all know that sea level rises have been coming along gradually here because we can see it gets wet more often than it used to. And our concern, there are some places it looks like the water table is close enough to the surface that the slabs are sitting in water occasionally, and it's absorbing up through the concrete. It's wetting the struts that are against that concrete and keeping it wet. So that's something that we were all interested as floodplain people to find out that this is potentially happening, that we're already seeing effects on structures to, regular sea level rise levels. So don't assume anything. You want to make sure it's safe.
So my name is Christine, and I wanted to thank you guys also for coming out. Frank and his group had come out to our house and have given us a lot of information because we were there, right, like the very first day, Monday, after the flood, so it's been very helpful to us. So some information that I've come across is also too for any veterans. It's by law they can forbear your mortgage if you apply for mortgage forbearance in the state of a disaster like this, as long as you can prove it with your insurance information. So we were able to get our mortgage forbeared by sending in all of our flood paperwork and everything, and they offer that benefit to veteran-backed loans for any veterans here. I do have a question, though, as far as with their insurance. Do you know if your house has to be leveled? Do they cover with your insurance companies, is it replacement cost or the actual cash value that they provide?
They're going to come in, and when they're actually doing their adjustment of the property, so for example, it's going to be, for the building structure, it's going to be replacement cost for actual cash value for contents. But you're going to have your minimum. So, for example, $250,000 is the maximum amount that the NFIP will insure. So, if your property is going to be more than the $250,000, the $250,000 is going to be the maximum amount that you're going to get. Plus, they do have additional monies built into it for other features that are in the policy for a little bit of additional monies on top of that. But the difference is going to be $250,000 versus if the replacement cost for your home at that time is $400,000, $250,000 plus that additional money is all you're going to get.
No, what I mean, let's say if it's your replacement cost is $200,000, but they're talking about that you're building, your actual cash value to be able to rebuild your structure is $45,000. What number do they go with if you have to have your house leveled and put up?
For instance, if they get an adjustment statement that replacement value is 208, complete replacement value is 208, but say the insurance repair rate is listed at 48,000. What are they going to pay out at if the house at 48,000 is way over 50%, and it's totaled?
Your insurance company, what is your insurance company responsible for?
Okay, let's talk about this one
I'll talk with
offline
you.
because I need the numbers.
Yeah, I have a picture of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so we're talking about 200,000, but we're talking
No, well,
$48,000.
it's all on your line adjustment as far as like with, whenever you get your adjustment,
Mhm.
your adjuster comes out and they say this is how much it's gonna be cost to act, to, you know, replacement value versus
Right.
actual cost
Right.
of what it is to do everything right now. So it's like, which one are they paying for? If it's been deemed, your house is deemed uninhabitable and unsafe.
Well, most likely up front, they're going to pay the ACV up front, and then after the fact, they'll come back and then do the replacement.
Okay.
So it's most likely in the beginning, it's going to be the ACV.
So it comes in increments then, it's the
Yes.
whole, okay.
Yes.
And then this is for you, Representative Cheney. I would like for, one thing, I know that this is two different disasters, but the people in Madeira Beach, a lot of us were small business owners, deeply affected by COVID. We have not even been able to recover from that. And I know that I have emailed personally Charlie Crist, Governor DeSantis, Jeff Brandes, starting with the COVID epidemic, because we just lost our business. And then now we're displaced from our home, and email and send pictures and send videos. And I sent videos to the news and no response on anything. I mean, I sent videos of my child swimming through septic system water and stuff to try to get to a place that was safe. You know, and it's just that if they could take into consideration too that we have not even recovered from the other epidemic. I mean, we've lost our businesses. A lot of people have been deeply affected by this. So that's just something, that's just more of a statement that to consider.
Yeah, I'm aware. I was made aware of that when I went through the city with the mayor and the city manager. There's another lady in this room who's, you know, experienced a lot of problems with the small business through COVID. Mm-hmm. We're hoping that there's going to be some more CARES money coming.
Well, no, and what I'm meaning is, like, we're past that. Like, we couldn't even recover. So, you know, you've lost your income, and now it's into this with the funding. And I know that, you know, everybody's been saying this and stuff. It's just that it's the case is if they could take that into consideration, too.
Absolutely.
You know,
you're being kicked when you're down.
Yeah.
And that's been my message as I'm calling around for help.
Okay. All righty. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? If not, we can break up and let you go to individuals if you'd like to register any damage or have specific questions or private questions. There are a number of people sitting around. Thank you very much for coming. I hope you signed up and gave us your information so that we can get out to you. We do have people in the back with sign-up sheets. If you have not signed up,
I wanted to.
Oh, I know, it's horrible, and it's like,
I had the same discussion,
And how did you spoke, you know, what you're gonna do?
We have a medical practice for 2 months, how do you recover from that? You know, I mean, and then when we did the COVID, you know, we have to take all these extra precautions, you know, have to limit the number of people we see.
Let's go to informative, you know, but at the end of it, you guys really have to have hard numbers.
Oh, and then by the way, here
hard
comes
numbers.
the
Yeah, and everybody. And to everybody else. That is why, sometimes they.
do you live on? I live on, Avenue.
We're focused.